Hi guys, how are you all? I hope you guys are good. I hope you guys are doing well with the Ouija. I'm very, very, very proud of you, Nick. You are doing great. So, alright, going through my psychology book again, I found a few more things that could help us. Can't hurt. So, habits. What is a habit? We can do this. We can integrate this with our sessions and make it a good habit. So, what is a habit? A habit is a fixed way of responding. So, it is a definite way of acting or thinking whenever the stimulus is given which actually touches off that particular way of responding. So what do you guys feel when you see the board? What do you feel when you touch it? What do you feel when you're doing a session and you're having communications? So, for example, in the brushing the teeth, the individual usually starts out in the same part of the mouth every time. Do you guys do that? I do. I really do that. The stimulus for this is inserting the brush in the mouth. Movement of the brush in certain directions follows a series of conditioned responses. So, eating a meal like breakfast, the individual usually wishes to have some accustomed particular food first. So, if used to starting with fruit juice, then he wants fruit juice first. The strength of the habit is apparent when, if that item of food is taken out of its customary order, at a point later on in the meal, and the food is unappealing. So, we can actually use this in our sessions, and I think it's going to be really great. I really did a lot of research last night, really going through this book and really focusing on just how well psychology can back us up with the Ouija, back us up with what we do, channeling, and I have a little story to tell you guys after I finish with this. This is a little mind-blowing. Alright, so 1,000 habits enter into our daily lives. Thousands, literally thousands every single day. So, by habits or order, our order of life is ruled. They affect the way we do our jobs and how we spend our leisures and recreational time as well. So some study of nature of the habits, how they are formed and how they are changed, is therefore in order. So, basic principles of habit formation. It takes, 3 days to form a habit? Basic principles of habit formation. Most psychologists agree on the nature of the sound habit formation. Possibly the rules could be summed up as follows. So, number 1, know clearly what habit is to be established. So we're going to get into the habit of having amazing Ouija sessions, contacting who we want, having that positivity, and really, really focusing and honing in on our self-esteem so that we don't have to sit here and worry if we're doing it right, if it's wrong, and don't let your ego overrule you. Not a good idea. So number 2, get the act or performance started correctly. So you guys are already doing that perfect. 3, practice it regularly. And that's what you guys are doing. 4, allow no exceptions. And then 5, check for faulty performance and eliminate errors before they become habitual. So that would be like, say you get into a Ouija session and you get the infamous Zozo. There you go. That's one really good example to just dismiss it. Just say goodbye, go away, and then that will not become a habit. So they form habits too. And from what I'm gathering, spirits form habits. If it was a habit or a trait, something that they habitually did in life, then voila, here we go. That's what we get through the board. So, alright, these suggestions are written from the standpoint of the learner. So as a teacher of others, the problem would be to see if these same rules are followed. If any suggestions were added, they would involve rewarding the learner when the right performance is accomplished and encouraging him or her to stay with it until the habit has been formed. So we have to get into, and I know you guys are really getting into forming the habit of, focusing on yourself, self-love, self-doubt, turning your self-doubts around, everything, turning our negativity into gold, alchemy, so pure alchemy. So, alright, know what habit to form. So, this is interesting stuff. So, this means that in undertaking to learn anything new, it's important to know what it is we're going to learn. So, a worker can't form a habit of getting to work at a certain time in the morning until the starting time is known. So, in learning a good work habit, it is particularly important to know what the job requires. A person can't learn to swim successfully without knowing what it takes to swim. Of course, we hear it said that one of the ways to teach a person is to swim is to just throw him in the water. No, that's no. But there is just not enough people drowned every year to make us suspicious of this as a recommended procedure. So yeah, don't just jump in right away. So, putting this principle to work in a few selected types of situations, we might get suggestions such as these. So, A. In learning the habits needed on a new job, find out what the job requires. So, let's form that in the way of Ouija words. So, in learning the habits needed on a new session, a Ouija session, find out what the session requires, which is what you were doing. Planning your sessions a day ahead. Planning them. Doing them before the reenactments. B. In learning the habits of study required for a new subject or a new course. Study the subject to find out what it is about and what you are expected to learn. So, what did you guys come into this thinking that you would learn? Or what did you guys come into this thinking you would come out of it with? Ouija. Being able to have a fantastic Ouija session. So, C. In learning how to play a new game, synchronicity, requiring a new set of habits, find out what the game calls for, what the principal rules are, and we have already discussed what the principal key roles and rules are for the board. So there really are no rules, just what you go to the board with is what you're going to get back. Okay, and what the developing, and what the more important and most frequent plays will be. So D, in learning the habits needed to operate a machine, operating the Ouija, get the main functions of the Ouija in mind, determine what the essential steps are, and set these steps up as ones to practice. So, make sense? Does that make sense for you guys? Because it does for me. It's just confirming everything that I've ever known, everything that I've ever done with the board. So, in short, every one of these types of situations, indeed almost any learning situation we can think of, suggests that need for studying the situation to find out what is required. Many people fail because they really don't know what they are trying to do. So, that is why we must go and study. That is why I keep telling you, meditate. Study. Everything you can. So, in connection with this principle, it should be noted that habits are not usually learned in an isolation, except for this. Okay, so each habit is usually related to other habits, and using a keyboard, for example, there is a separate habit which results in the typist using a certain finger to type a letter, and another finger to type a different letter. So there is also a habit which calls for hitting the space bar with the right thumb. Do you guys do that? I do. I do my right and my left thumb. And every other finger too. So, another for making the combination of keystrokes which produce commonly used words like the and there. Those words just simply flow. For all of us, I think, because it's right there at the top. So, T-H-E-R-E. Right there, you can do it with two fingers. And just type it up fast. So, alright. The learner soon learns to run through a series of habits, which would be the relaxation ritual and the heart breath meditation, and really focusing on getting who you want through the board. So, basically raising your vibration, doing everything that we've done to actually, to raise our vibration and to attract the spirit that we want to have that connection. So, okay, with one being connected to the other, and then in a smooth and orderly fashion. So these series of habits are sometimes called by psychiatrists families of habits, which simply means groups of habits used in carrying out a performance of any particular kind. So, the point is that the important habits which go into these groupings need to be learned in relation to one another. If the whole group of habits is to work smoothly, this can be illustrated in the case of driving a car. It would be foolish for the new driver to learn how to steer and use the accelerator and not know at the very start how to apply the brake. So the new driver must know an entire series of important habits in order to operate a vehicle safely on the highway. This again stresses the importance of finding out ahead of time what is required in learning any new thing. Same thing for the Ouija. Same exact thing for the Ouija, same thing for channeling, all of it. So in an act like driving a car, playing a piano, the habit follows each other swiftly, and it seems as though one habit leads to the next one. So we are forming habits of doing our meditation, our heart breath meditation, the relaxation ritual, actually using the board, doing all of it. So we are actually forming a habit of doing it, a habit of getting in a good mood, form the habit of knowing that you're going to have a great session. So, okay, the piano player strikes a key or a chord that leads to her striking the next key or chord, and so on through the exercise. So, the way in which these habits are all connected in a series is illustrated by what happens when the pianist is stopped in the middle of her exercise and her attention is directed to something else. So if it is an exercise which was learned, like learned by the play of habit, she may not be able to start again in the middle, but she may have to start again in the beginning. So she may have to go back from the beginning, or she can actually start from the middle if she knows what she's doing. So she is used to playing it in a continuous melody, one part following automatically from the part preceding it. So if we get interrupted during a Ouija session, some of us, I can personally just pick up, she picks up, my grandma picks up where we left off. I don't have to start the session over. So I don't know if that's how you guys are. I don't know if that's how you guys are. If you guys were to get interrupted during a Ouija session, what would you do? What would you do? Would you start over, or would you actually try to bridge the gap and try to go back to where you started? So, so it is because of this that many teachers advocate that the learner go through the whole selection first, so as to see how the parts fit in together. This is called the whole method of learning. Okay, so it is advisable in any performance which is not too long or complicated, because the learner then sees how the steps go together and how they belong to the whole. So this suggests one habit we all need to acquire, the habit of studying carefully any new thing we learn. We are to learn to make sure that we know what to do. So sometimes when we notice a person who does this, we say he is a methodical person, or she is a careful worker. So, getting started correctly on habit forming, and I will be right back. Alright, I'm back, guys. So, okay, getting started correctly. So, okay, once we have decided what it is that we are to do, we should start to do it. And then we should make sure that we are doing it right. If we have a teacher, we may ask the teacher to tell us whether or not we have started the act properly. So if we are working on our own, and we must ask ourselves this question and check what we are doing to make sure that we are on the right track. The reason for this is obvious. If we get started incorrectly, we will not be able to learn the right habits. Also, since we know that the repetition or practice is what fixes a habit, or at least is what causes a habit to develop, we realize that the wrong habit can just be started just as easily as the right habit. And then we'll have to just undo it. We have already learned and start all over again. And we don't want to do that. Alright, so many times we are in the position of trying to teach other people how to do things, to teach them habits of work, or to train them. In this case, it is very important to get them started properly in the performance of their duties. So that is why I have started you guys off with doing just reenactments, with doing the meditation, the heart breath meditation, the everything, the meditations. Those are the most important keys, raising our vibration, starting you off with the oils to help you raise your vibration. So, many times we are in the position of trying to teach other people how to... I already read that. So, unsatisfactory habits can be formed rather quickly. That starting a person on the job, an employer often finds that the new worker is working in an unsatisfactory manner because he or she did not start out properly. So, often this is the employer's fault because not enough time was taken to start the new worker in the right direction. So then the employer wonders why the new worker is so inefficient. This is one of the main reasons why better industries and business concerns are setting up training programs or schools for their new workers, in the hope that, among other things, the new workers will get off to a good start. So, perfect. And you guys got off on a really good start, and I'm very, very happy. So, okay, practice regularly. So any new habit, skill, or performance needs a chance to become developed. So this is what the whole entire Ouija course is for. So you can develop your abilities that you already have. This requires practice. As we see elsewhere in this textbook, one of the principles of learning is that of practice or repetition. Most habits simply won't gel unless they are practiced. So practice. So, rare is the good golfer who never practices. The once-a-month golfer is a poor match for the golfer who plays 2 or 3 times a week. Football teams spend weeks practicing plays, learning signals, and toughening up. So that is why I gave you guys all of the reenactments and putting yourself in that person's shoes and really trying to feel how they feel and what they do, or what they would have thought about, a certain topic, just anything. So practice requires time and effort, and that requires that we pay attention to what we are doing until we have learned the habit or set of habits we have in mind. If we want to learn to play the piano, hours of time and effort will be required. The person who desires to be a gourmet cook won't become one without practice. This seems like an elementary rule of habit formation, but it is surprisingly how many individuals resist it. The boy or girl who is taking music lessons is often unwilling to practice. Of course, we have to want to do something, to put much effort into it. But in every cause, we must realize that unless we train, which means practice, there are a few good habits or useful skills which we will ever acquire. So how often have we listened to a good pianist or watched the artist draw an interesting picture and said, I wish I could do that? You can. All of you can do that. Wow. I just got my phenylacetam. Wow. Wow, that's all I can say isn't good. So here's a possible, so here is possibly 9/10 of the answer of why that person would say and look at a pianist very, like Bach or Beethoven or Chopin. Oh, God, I would love to channel them through the piano. I'm going to try to one day. Okay, so 9/10 of the answer. We could do it if we practiced enough to learn. So, it's simple. It's very simple. So, now allow no exceptions. So, in practicing an act which one intends to learn, the act should be carried out the way it is supposed to be done every time it is practiced. So that is why I am always on you guys about doing the relaxation ritual, the heart breath, and really understanding who you are wanting to contact and getting all of that information about that person. So furthermore, there ought to be no interruptions in the practice. That's very obvious for Ouija. So if we are trying to form the habit of writing down our daily expenses every evening before we go into bed, it must be done every evening until the habit is established. Otherwise, it's likely that the habit will not be established. So, people who are training, or who are learning, do not always realize how difficult they are making the process for themselves when exceptions are allowed, or they say to themselves, this is just this once. They will do it another way. However, after a habit has been thoroughly established, an occasional exception may occur without damaging the habit. So, that is pretty much it on habit formation, the psychology of habit formation, forming your guys' habits of a positive Ouija session. So, literally I have programmed and trained and practiced and my outcome was this. All of this. So, I'm blown away by everything in my past. So if you guys are, say you're going through a book on psychic abilities, I did when I was younger. I was like 10, and I was really practicing all of the steps that they told you. You would go from the top of the stairs, a spiral staircase. I'm sure somebody knows what I'm talking about. And then you count each stair step until you reach that astral plane. I don't remember what book it was because it was a really long time ago, 20 years ago. So yeah, that just shows you guys that I have literally dedicated my life to this practice, to my craft, my abilities, my skills with the Ouija, everything like that. So this, honestly, practice is how I have gotten to where I want to be. So, correct bad habits early. So so this principle is easily understood, though possibly not so easy to put into practice because it takes effort to take time and energy. So to check and criticize one's own performance, so whether the learner will correct his or her performance and get rid of the inefficient or unsatisfactory way of working, will depend on how anxious he or she is to do a good job. So, no exceptions. Don't let exceptions come in through your Ouija sessions. But yes, I thought that would be just something to share with you guys that might help kind of get things going off into the right direction, maybe. Could be, possibly, maybe. So, how are we coming along, though? Like all of us. I know, Nick, I know you're doing really good. Mallory, how are you? Where are you? Where have you been? Did you get your package? I know Nick did. So I'm just waiting for your response. Your essays, everybody's essays that you've sent me, I have loved. I think are incredible, amazing. So yeah, just keep practicing, and that's all I can say is just keep practicing. And you will get it. It will come. It will happen. Definitely. I assure you that. So yes. Alright, so kind of wanted to make one thing clear. I had, some crazy ass comment from, I don't know, somebody that, thinks that they're, an expert. No, I am not an expert in Luciferianism. Sure, I incorporate a little bit of it. But no, you don't have to become a demonologist to become an occult expert or an occult specialist. And I never said I was an occult expert. I said specialist. So that's your fault. That's your fault. So yeah, I don't know. There's been quite a few some really strange people coming into the community and just trying to rip me apart, which obviously doesn't work ever. I mean, I don't know how many people have tried to rip me apart in the past, and it just never works. So whoever left that comment, you can take that comment, whatever you're thinking, cut it in half, and don't say it at all. Thanks. Okay. Now, I know that you guys are interested in the rhodolite bracelets and the ring. So tonight I am going to try to do a ring. Get maybe a little tiny, I don't know how I would do that. Maybe a stretch ring. something along the lines of, I have something right here, something along the lines, no, I did not make this, I'm not that talented. So maybe a stretchy ring type of thing with rhodolite in it. I know, it looks like a scouring pad. But yeah, so yeah, something like that is what I was thinking. Just, I don't know what that is. That's actually, those were hematite beads. So, it's a giant. A giant. So something like that I was thinking to do for you guys. Because I am just fascinated by the rhodolite and how well it connects. And it's been a very amazing stone for me. It has really, really helped me to connect. It has helped me to connect. It's helped me to just completely understand, like a better understanding of myself, the board, even, you know, going through, you know, previous experiences and spell work and stuff. I just really feel like the rhodolite has helped me immensely. So I am definitely going to be sending out those for you guys. So I just need opinions. Nick, you're up for a ring. I'll make you a ring, a bracelet, and a necklace. Mallory, let me know what you'd like. I can do earrings. I can do basically anything with rhodolite. It's a very, very nice stone. A very good stone. So. Alright, and then I have to show you guys something. Seriously, this stuff is amazing, you guys. Where did I put it? Phenylparacetam. So, it is pure, 100% pure. So when phenylparacetam, it gets to the blood barrier of the brain faster. So you can experience, this is the closest thing that you can actually get to Adderall or Vyvanse or any of those disgusting, gross prescription whatever pills. This is all natural. It's so much better. So much better. Vegetarian capsules. Yes, it's all vegetarian. No gluten, no GMOs, and no preservatives. So 30 capsules, vegetarian, pure nootropics, supports cognitive function, phenylparacetam. Incredible. It really is. I feel so much more calm and focused and energetic. So, anyways, back to what I was saying. Sorry if I'm giving you guys a show of my ass. Didn't mean to. So this is what... Everybody was like in shock when I put this up last night. It's just a key. It's Hecate's key. So this will be up in the shop sooner or later. So that is a giant skeleton key. Blue, thank you for this. I love it. So it's a giant skeleton key. I love this one for some odd reason. It just turned out way better than I expected. So it's got Hecate's colors. We get the sterling silver beads, and now we have hematite beads. More hematites. Going up, we have lots and lots of hematite beads. And at the very top, you get your little teeny tiny, like a light chain, those beads, but they're sterling silver. And then you get your made with love, and you get your sterling silver little clasp with your O-ring. Yes, it is very, very nice, and it's multicolored. So some of these are multicolored, so like right here you'll get just multicolors, but they're very, very dark. So it's very Hecate. I really actually ran it by her and I asked her if she liked it, and I got a yes. So I thought that was pretty cool. Validation. Oh, that stuff works maybe a little too well. So, alright guys, I will get to work today, or actually I'll get to work tonight on your guys's, I'm going to try the ring with the rhodolite and with the gold stone. I'm gonna make 2. But yeah, I'm gonna try that and see how that works, and if it does, you guys are my guinea pigs. So yeah, I'm very excited about that. So alright guys, hopefully backing this all up with a little bit of psychology, it kind of helps to reinforce your guys' self-esteem, so it kind of takes away the self-doubt. Actually being able to see from an actual psychology book just how well things actually do work. I think it's great, but you know, not everybody's going to be so excited as I am. Just in psychology, it excites me and amazes me. So, what else? I was going to tell you. Oh yes, yesterday during my therapy session, EDMR, it's trauma therapy. You go into trance. She puts me into trance, and I thought it was really, really funny. She told me that the only person, because I get connected to certain wires, and it monitors my brain waves, and instantly when I close my eyes, I can actually put myself into a deep state of trance like that. And she said that she's never seen that with anybody before, except for her professor that she was learning from. So I was kind of shocked, a little shocked, and then she kind of guided me around to different, to take the pain we carry pain in our bodies, emotional pain. So I was carrying it in my heart, a lot in my chest, and we moved it to my arms. Now my arms kill all the time, like all day, yesterday, all night, they just kill. It's a very, very weird sensation. I don't like it, but we're moving the pain out of the body. And then I had a little thing where I would just automatically went to my therapist's house, and I actually saw her beautiful living room, and she was very, very shocked. So I did ask her. I was like, well, what if you were a FBI agent or something? And she said that would be a possibility, that I would be taken in for tests. So that kind of scared me a little bit, but I just really thought that was validation that, all my years of practicing, doing all of this work, internal work, it pays off. So that's my point. It pays off. So, what else? That's it. That's it for today, guys. So, I will be doing all of this. I'm getting everything back up into the shop. A Witch's Journey is just a revised version, a more professional version of a modern guide to witchcraft. So, that is being shipped. That is shipped already. So, it'll be here soon, hopefully. Hopefully by this week, so I can send it to you guys. And then, yeah. So, alright guys, I will see you all tomorrow, and I hope you guys have a good day. And if you have any questions, anything, email me, let me know. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you need help in any other area. I know everybody's been very busy lately. Since school started, everybody has been super busy. I know Nick, I know you've been busy. Mallory, I'm guessing you're very busy. So, yes, we will all come together and we will all talk. Hopefully through a Google Chat, something like that. So, alright guys, I love you all very, very much. All the way from Venus, all the way back down. So, alright guys, I will see you all tomorrow, and I love you all with all of my heart.